Man, Colin, you ever want mystical powers?
Yeah, but I have no idea how to get them.
Have you ever tried murdering 70 women and drinking their saliva?
No, I haven't. Wait, has someone tried that?
Well, let me tell you.
Welcome to our look into a criminal's past as we see just what shaped the Indonesian sorcerer from hell's actions.
A young Indonesian man by the name of Ahmad Suradji, or Dukan as he was known in his village, went on a killing spree for 11 years in the name of ultimate power. Over the course of those 11 years, he killed at least 42 women, all between the ages of 11 and 40.
As a young child, Ahmad took after his father, who was a farmer and an amateur sorcerer. Ahmad himself began practicing the mystic arts as a child and became deeply involved in the practice. Years later, in his late teens, he began committing petty crimes such as thievery. For this violent behavior, he spent 10 years in jail.
Ahmed had a rocky relationship with his mother because of his marital choices. Ahmed had 3 wives, which as a Muslim isn't uncommon, but since all 3 women were sisters, the marriages were considered taboo. This led to his mother to look down on Ahmed and cast him out. Nonetheless, Ahmed continued with his mystical practice. So we know that Ahmed and his father practiced mystical arts, but what does that mean?
In Indonesia, becoming a dukun is a respected profession and it is a well sought after job, regardless of the person's previous business success. Dukuns mainly deal in healing, weather, and marital spells, although they are also capable of doing hexes and other revenge type spells.
Things started to get a little weird in 1988. One night, Ahmed had a dream where his dying father explained that he could get ultimate power, invincibility, and much more through the use of his mystical powers. All he had to do to achieve said power was murder 70 women.
Wait, what?
But that's not all. Not only did he have to murder these 70 women, but he had to drink their saliva as well. So Ahmed had knowledge of his father's plan, but could he go through with it?
You see, whenever a customer would come into his house for mystical sessions, Ahmed would take their payment and lead them far out of the village to a nearby sugarcane farm. Once they arrived at said farm, Ahmed pretended to do the ritual that the woman had paid for. During part of the ritual, he had the woman get into a waist-deep hole and partially filled it in. Once the woman was stuck in the hole, however, Ahmed would then tie her hands together and proceed to strangle her to death. Then he would strip the body naked and continue burying it so that they were facing towards his home in an attempt to absorb the power of their souls. This went on for 11 years, and no one knew where the woman went because of the privacy that surrounds visiting a dukun. This killing spree went on for 11 years. How was he finally caught?
In 1998, his last victim, a woman named Dewey, took a cab to Ahmed's house for a meeting with the Dukan. Days later, her body was found in the sugarcane farm where Ahmed killed and buried his victims. The cabbie who had taken Dewey to the meeting knew she was last seen entering Ahmed's house. He reported Ahmed to the police, who immediately began an investigation. During the investigation, Ahmed confessed to the murder of Dewey and 11 other women. He also told the police to continue digging in the sugarcane farm to find the rest of the bodies. Ahmed proceeded to then take the police through the process which he used to commit the murders, going as far as to demonstrate the methods he used on a doll. After the remains had been recovered, forensic scientists examined the bones and determined that there were at least 42 other women buried in the mass grave. The youngest victim was only 11, and the oldest woman was in her 40s. Along with preying on women seeking spiritual advice, Ahmed also murdered local sex workers when his dukun business was slow.
The murders. During the investigation, Ahmed had admitted to the murder of these women. But during the trial, however, he denied that he ever admitted anything about the murders. The trial drew on for a long time because there was a lot of circumstantial evidence and not a lot of condemning evidence that could connect him to the crimes, besides one witness saying he saw the latest victim and him together days before the body was found. The judges also believed that they were letting the social feelings interfere with the unbiased opinion of the law because everyone in and out of the courtroom wanted him dead. Eventually, Ahmad accepted his fate and confessed to killing all of the women nearly a year after the trial began. Ahmed spent 10 years in prison before being executed by firing squad in 2008. Thank goodness.